human rights, talking about human rights, Nigerians are not experiencing human rights. But I would like to get your opinion on that.
Well, there is a great difference between the reality and something someone feels.
Okay.
You may feel that this thing doesn't exist, and it's different from reality. In Nigeria, human rights exist. Because as I'm talking to you now, Nigeria is amongst the grade A status in the observance of human rights.
Grade A?
Yes.
Can you explain that, please?
Grade A means those countries who observe all the tenets of human rights without leaving anyone out of it. So Nigeria is amongst those nations.
Okay.
So we enjoy human rights. Are you surprised?
No, because there are cases of people that if you speak anyhow online, you'll be tracked. You know, if for the abused. You know, I remember one of the stories. I can't remember the very state in the eastern region here where a lady was being abused, and she even went to the police to report. And the abuse went on, and she died in the process. These are just the ones that we've been able to see limelight. But in reality, it looks like this whole human rights thing, having people to fight, and it's like it's not as effective as we expect it to be. So when you mentioned that Nigerians among the A-list, it sounds like how?
You just told a story. I'm not conversant with the story.
Okay.
And I cannot report what happens in the police because I'm not a police officer. But I can comfortably tell you that there is one thing we need to understand. For example, if your rights or any of them is abused, what do? Nigeria has a statutory body called the National Human Rights Commission. And when your rights are abused, what do? You report. And that's why I'm a staff there. I'm in investigation department.
Nice.
To investigate the human rights abuses. So when you report, we investigate and address that's seeking redress. So when you don't report, we can't be all the places at the same time. You have to report. It's a statutory body. Today marks 30 years since the establishment of National Human Rights Commission. And people who have reported have positive stories to tell. So I'm amazed when you said, does it really exist? No, I beg to disagree with you. It exists. It's left for you to report.
Okay, I can't remember me saying if it really does exist. Of course, I know it exists.
Yes.
I'm looking at it from the angle of the minds of the people.
Yes.
And the complaints, speculations. People are still doubting the effectiveness of the human rights. You understand? So let's look at the effectiveness now. Out of, like, let's say 100 cases, how many cases has the investigation? This is like the end of the year.
Yes.
If you were to give us like some sort of statistics from your unit, like what statistics would you give to us? Because there are still cases where people go to report issues like this, and sometimes they are asked to pay. Example, in the police, we heard of stories where it's not that they ask them to pay, bring money for fuel, to drive the car, different challenges, different things coming up, and some of these victims end up just giving up and not believing in the institution.
Okay, just like I said earlier, I cannot talk about the police.
Okay.
Because I'm not a police officer.
No, I'll give an example.
Yes,
Your
yes.
unit now.
But in our own,
our
services are free of charge.
Okay.
National Human Rights Commission was established in Nigeria in 1995 under the regime of late General Sani Abacha.
Okay.
In line with the resolution of the international community, the United Nations, that every country should go and establish human rights institutions. So that was when it was established, to address all cases of human rights abuses. And when it was established, it has two major core mandates.
Okay.
promotion, and protection. And since that time, it came into existence. It has been protecting, it has been promoting the human rights of every Nigerian, including non-Nigerians resident in Nigeria. And in 2010, the 1995 Act that established the National Human Rights Commission was amended to give it more powers. And in that amendment, a new thing was added. Enforcement.
Good.
So what we are doing now is part of the promotion.
Yeah.
We are sort of enlightening people on their rights and where they can seek redress. Then you talk about protection. When people report, or there is what we call sumoto, when a staff or anybody, any Nigerian citizen, observes human rights abuses or violations, the person is free to walk into any office of the National Human Rights Commission, because you have 36 states across the 36 offices across the 36 states of the Federation, with headquarters in Abuja, to report. When you report, actions will be taken. Because I would have been very happy if someone would just come up and tell us that he has gone to National Human Rights Commission to report a matter and nothing was done, or that he was extorted, or he was paid to pay money. We are government officials. At the end of every month, government releases money to us to run the office. For example, I'm an investigation officer. If there is a human rights abuse or human rights violation in Nsukka, and the boss minutes a file to me to go and investigate, money is released to me to transport myself to carry out my investigation. So our services are free of charge. So that's the truth of the matter. People will just stay and speculate. You have not reported. Report. Then you have your evidence and say, I reported, nothing happened. Or I reported and I was told to bring money. So that's the issue. We run a clean administration where people, in fact, our volume of complaints, it is increasing. Because most times, when people come to report, when they are satisfied with the services they got, when they go and see someone who has a similar problem or any other human rights issue, the person will direct the victim to our office. See, I had a similar matter. I had something close to that, and I reported, and they handled the matter very well.
I wish we had something like that in different other sectors, different states, different regions, where if you have a challenge and you report to the right source and it is sorted out, you also recommend to someone else if the person also has something like that. But that seems to be the challenge. Do you think Nigerians are really aware of their rights? Because till now, not many people are aware of their rights. So many people are intimidated and they're quiet about it because they don't even know their rights. What's your reaction to that?
That's why, first of all, I must thank you people for this program, because we paid nothing. You invited us. It's part of the sensitization. It's part of the promotion we are talking about. If other TV stations, radio stations, because we don't have money for publicity, we don't have enough for publicity. If they can see it as a service to their country, where they will allocate some time so that we can come to the TV, we can come to the radio and talk about human rights, so that even people in the rural areas will know. Now, there is a project we are doing in collaboration with ENUGU State, the past government of ENUGU State, and when this one come in, the program continued. We call it human rights education. It's a situation where the National Human Rights Commission goes to schools to teach children of their rights and their responsibilities, because you cannot talk about rights without responsibilities. So we teach them their rights, their responsibilities, and what to do when their rights are violated. So we want to catch them young. And further than that, the National Human Rights Commission has transmitted the act establishing the commission into the major local languages in Nigeria. We have it in Yoruba language, We have it in Hausa language and we have it in Igbo language, because we know that there are some people that cannot read and write. That was why we have that abridged version of our local languages. So it's a continuous thing. We'll continue to sensitize people. We'll continue to educate people so that every Nigerian, at least, will be aware of your rights and how to seek redress when any of your rights is violated.
All right, so let's talk about the disappointments, you know, that many Nigerians face when they even know their rights and they seem to talk or stand up, you know, talk about it and it is not honored, in quotes. Do you think this is the impact why some people decline to speak up? Because most times when they speak up, they even get threatened in the process. When they try to react, when they know their rights has been trampled on, you know, they're quiet. There are instances where we have the likes of, I'm sorry, I don't have any issues with the police, but this one is always in the eyes of people, where you see young guys, maybe if they braid their hair or they have tattoo, the next minute they want to see their phones, which I know that in different occasions we've heard that it is wrong for people to go through someone's privacy, like your phone and stuff, and it's not supposed to be. This is your right, this is your space, but it's still happening. You get, in most places you still see police people stopping and, you know, checking phones, they call it exhibits and stuff. In a case like that, how can you even stand? How can you really, you know, express your rights when you just can't have that right because you're surrounded by people that have weapons and are intimidating?
Okay, in that situation, we have received so many complaints about some security agencies. And what we usually tell people, in a situation like that, if you feel that they are trampling on your rights, it is not advisable that you should confront them.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The best thing you have to do is to try and get the particulars of the police, that particular police officer. When you get the particulars, what do you do next? Come to our office and file your complaint with the particulars. Then we'll take the matter up. We'll take it up with the Commissioner of Police. In fact, the current Commissioner of Police doesn't tolerate nonsense. But if you can get the full particulars, report to us. We'll take it up with the Commissioner of Police and he will address the situation. It's very, very simple.
It's very simple.
Yes, it's very,
very simple because you are aware of all of these things. I don't think many Nigerians are aware of the steps to follow when they are confronted by things like this. It's recent case happened about a child that was abused, you know, and unfortunately, the human rights people that was working on the case, maybe they didn't meet, I don't know what happened, but they did not take the child to the hospital to run a medical routine to check the child up and have evidence of the abuse and what have you. And then somehow they followed the case up, and at the end of the day there was nothing to show forth, which is a challenge. Not many people are aware of things, steps to follow when they are victims of certain circumstances, which is why you mentioned promotion.
Yes.
To bring it to their knowledge.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the challenges. As a human rights activist, you know, what are the challenges in Nigeria that not just you, but every other human rights are experiencing when it gets to fighting for the voiceless? And, you know, you mentioned take case to commissioner. There's a commissioner that understands and listens. What if the commissioner does not understand or listen? What do you do? So let's get to know the challenges that you people face.
Okay, before I go into the challenges we face, I would like to address the statement you just made concerning a child that was molested. National Human Rights Commission, we don't do the work alone.
Okay.
We collaborate with so many organizations.
Okay.
Like in the issue of rape and sexual assault, we have ENUGU State Sexual Assault Referral Center.
Okay.
Is owned by ENUGU State government. Before they used to call it Tamasak, but this current administration changed it to ENUGU State SAC, that is ENUGU State Sexual Assault Referral Center. What we do, what they do there mostly is because of our collaboration with them, when we receive any matter that has to do with sexual assault, we get in contact with them because they are highly trained to handle such situation.
Okay.
When we get in contact with them, they would do the needful. Then we'll collaborate and resolve the problem, which includes reporting the matter to the police, getting the police medical form, treating the person before apprehending the alleged culprit. And when we talk about human rights, there are so many non-governmental organizations working on human rights. You understand? This one is the only one being owned by federal government of Nigeria. Do you understand? And they are better equipped, and they have the core mandate to handle issues of human rights. But when people come, they lump it together. I reported to human rights. I reported to human rights. Which particular human right did you report the matter to? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So some people register the organizations that they are doing work on human rights. Do you understand? And people just say, I reported to human rights. But which particular human rights?
It's just like you generalizing it.
Yes.
Calling the names of those that are really trying their
That's
best.
the thing. Because most of these human rights organizations, some of them, they collaborate with us. So when they receive such matters, they refer to our office. But some people, when they receive it, they want to handle it alone. They feel there is glory in handling it, without knowing that without collaboration, you cannot achieve much. Because, for example, now, there are some community-based organizations, people who work on human rights in rural areas.
Yeah.
When they get such complaints, they refer to us, knowing fully well that we have the whole machineries in motion to do the work. So, coming to the challenges we face, the major challenge we face is reporting. People don't report. Number two, people report and they don't follow up. Do you understand? For example, if you bring a matter that I violated your rights, we cannot indict you because we have not established whether what the complainant, that's what we call the reporter, what the complainant is saying against the respondent. Do you understand? So we need to carry out our investigation. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when people report and you start an investigation, if there is any need for you to call the complainant to come and clear some issues about what he reported, you will not see him again. They just believe that when you report, you will go and bring that person and kill that person or send that person to prison. It doesn't happen that way now. We are talking about fair hearing. You understand? Because somebody can come and lay a complaint against you when actually you are the victim.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So when you want to dig deep into the matter to find out what actually happened, when you call the person to come, there is a development. This person said what you told was a lie. There are some questions we need to ask you. The person will not come in.
I feel that politics is getting into it.
That's it. So when you talk about human rights, fair hearing is part of it. You cannot just report and I will take action. You tell me that a policeman did you this, did you that. No. We have to investigate. So in the process of carrying out the investigation, if we find out anything, when we now call you to come and substantiate your claim, you will not come again. The next thing we said we don't want to do, things are not done that way. You report, you follow up. When you follow up, at the end of the day, we will tell you the details of our investigation. If actually your rights were violated, there are certain things the commission can do. If it was by law enforcement agencies, we take it up with the authority.
Yeah.
If it is by an individual, there is what we call panel of inquiry, where the commission will sit, the governing council will sit and take a decision on the matter. They could award costs and damages. They could even recommend to the Attorney General of the state or of the Federation for prosecution. So these are some of the ways things are being done. So just these few are the major challenges we have. People don't report, people don't follow up, people just drop a complaint. When you call them, who are you? Come and tell us. Now let's know whether the person who reported is a human being or not. The person will not come. So there is no how you just report a matter and we'll just take the matter up and go and bring the other person, police, arrest this person, without hearing.
I get that part of it. But
yes.
It's funding also part of the challenges.
Funding.
Yes, because I know you mentioned the federal government having the equipment and the facility to carry out some of these investigations, like the molestation and what have you. I want to believe some private, some NGOs, human rights NGOs, do they have some of the means to carry out their work? Okay. Is funding a challenge too?
No, to us, funding is not a challenge.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because just like I told you, if a matter comes and if it is assigned to me or to any of our officers, then the person will be given money to go for investigation.
By the company, not the complainant.
No, by the government. Government releases money to us.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you understand?
That's what I'm saying. Your company is an NGO too, it's a private organization.
My company? No, National Human Rights Commission.
Beautiful. So I'm talking about the private ones.
Okay.
Will funding also be a challenge too for them?
Well, for private, I cannot speak for them because I don't know how they run their organization. I can only speak for my office because funding is never our problem. Because if a matter comes...
But I'm sorry to cut in, but with your experience,
yes,
in the human rights, I don't want to say industry, in that sector, you should have an idea if funding could be a challenge. We are just like we have the private school and the public school.
Yes.
You don't have to be in private school to understand what could be the challenge of a private school.
Okay.
Where I'm driving at is from the angle of, transportation, just like you said. If they don't have a sponsor, like the private and human rights organization, if they don't have a sponsor, a partner, somebody that's funding them and the rest, going about these cases, to fight for the voiceless and the rest of it could be a challenge if they don't have a fund.
Well, let me talk about some organizations I know.
Okay.
Just like I explained to you, there are some community-based organizations. They operate in rural areas.
Okay.
So these people, most times when we organize programs, we have noticed that funding is a challenge to them. So that's why, like I said earlier, what they usually do is when they receive a complaint or when they observe human rights violations, they will contact National Human Rights Commission because I believe they don't have the funds, to carry out the investigation.
Hence, they reach out to you.
Yes, they now reach out to us, knowing fully well that we have the capacity to do the job, including the funding. So that's what they do. Like today, we celebrated the 30 years anniversary of the establishment of National Human Rights Commission in Nigeria. Most of them came from the rural areas to join us in the celebration. So from the feeders we are getting from them, some of them use their personal funds to sponsor complainants. Most times when like an old woman who lost her husband, and maybe she doesn't have a male child, and the husband's brother wants to take away the whole land left to her by the husband. So such a person who doesn't have money, who is even mourning for the death of the husband, walks into their office. You believe you me that the person won't have any money to transport herself to our office.
Okay.
So what they do is they now bring the complaint to our office on behalf
of the
of
person.
The victim.
Okay, so this very last question before we wrap it, we have to wrap it, right?
Okay.
So talking about this whole human rights challenge, where do you get these stories the most? Is it from the urban or from the rural? Because we know that the human rights, it seems most of the offices and what have you, then urban related areas, where they have access to people going through challenges in these areas. You will find it very difficult to see NGOs in the village, remote areas.
Yeah.
So how do people in the remote areas get justice?
Okay. People get justice in the remote areas. For example, last week I was in a place called ENUGU. From ENUGU to ENUGU. It was a one community-based organization that referred a matter to us. They get justice. Do you understand? But we receive complaints of human rights violations more in the urban areas because of proximity.
Okay.
But those in rural areas, they have a traditional system where there is a chief, there is a traditional ruler, where when such matters come up, we have the kindred omonna. When such matters come up, they usually take such matters to omonna, to the chief, or to the igwe, or even the religious leader to seek redress. It's only when it fails they will now look for a external body.
Okay, so this is how far I can go. I know I said this is the last one, but I just remember that just in a few seconds, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, what parting shot would you like to share? What would you like to tell people going through abuse, any form of challenge? What would you like to tell them?
Okay, what I want to tell them is that you have to report. If you think you can hide it, you can never hide it. When you report, because Igbo people will always say that
support of this motion as amended.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
One host, one stage, one historic moment the world will never forget. This Valentine's Day, love meets legacy. Signature TV proudly presents ENUGU to the world with a Guinness World Record attempt featuring Dr. Chigi Chiagoram. The highest number of interviews in 12 hours. 100 guests, one studio, one record. For 12 non-stop hours, we bring together 100 influential voices. Date, 14th February 2026, Valentine's Day. Time 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Venue, International Conference Center, ENUGU. Live on Signature TV and all Signature TV digital platforms. Be part of history.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Hello, thank you so much for staying with us. It's been an amazing night to start this with us. And this is where we're going to call it tonight. My name is Christopher Lele.
And I am Princess Ken Ochama. See you tomorrow.
One host, one stage, one historic moment the world will never forget. This Valentine's Day, love meets legacy. Signature TV proudly presents ENUGU to the world with a Guinness World Record attempt featuring Dr. Chigi Chiagoram. The highest number of interviews in 12 hours. 100 guests, one studio, one record. For 12 non-stop hours, we bring together 100 influential voices. Date, 14th February 2026, Valentine's Day. Time 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Venue, International Conference Center, ENUGU. Live on Signature TV and all Signature TV digital platforms. Be part of history.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket.
We come from a place of values, a place where hard work and discipline is taught early. We were taught that excellence is intentional so that we stand firm, build and do our work well, rooted in the knowledge of our origins and the strength of our people. Our stories are shaped by resilience, our paths are built on consistency. From the hands that create with precision, skills live here, creativity thrives here, excellence is practiced here, where every detail matters. We tell our stories with clarity and share our truths with confidence. We build influence with intention. Our voices reflect who we are and carry our identity. We build a strong foundation in the dignity of honest work, pride in showing up every day, strength in consistency, respect for the process, and strong value in our efforts. This is who we are. Rooted in service to humanity, guided by compassion, driven by responsibility beyond self, committed to life and purposeful in every action we take. It is not just a conversation, it is representation, it is preparation, it is intention made visible, and it is history taking shape from the dream team. We can do it.
February 14th, 2026.
International Conference Center, ICC.
This is bigger than one person. This is about all of us. You are invited.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing.